Welcome back to the fourth, maybe fifth. Again, don't know nothing about numbers here, but we're going to talk about gun control. We don't know nothing.
It's a hot topic right now.
About gun control.
We actually, we weren't planning on making another one right now, but I'd say we got into a pretty well thought out debate.
Yeah.
To my right, we have Nikki. She is here, along with Kenton.
Kenton Jones, my brother.
What's up?
To my left, I got Nick Brewer, the cyclist.
What's going on?
How we going? Again, I'm Kyle Jones. To my right,
Dylan Purcell.
Dylan Purcell, we got it. And again, the topic is gun control, and it's been in current events right now. Like we're talking about the March for Our Lives. Everywhere. Everybody's talking about right now. And we were talking about who should own a gun, if everybody has the right to a gun, and if you could stop a person that really has the need to go up and shoot somebody. And just my opinion, there are things that you can put in place to stop shootings from happening. There are things. There are
like what?
Different. There are background checks. There are already background checks established. Right?
As far as background checks, who's to say some guy doesn't go on Craigslist? Like, Craigslist is so easy to just go, yeah, man, I'll register this gun, and then just not.
But talking about the main shootings that have happened in the past, we're talking about Aurora, Colorado with the theater. We're talking about the Florida shooting in the school. Mm-hmm. Those people went to Columbine. They went to places and they legally bought weapons.
Exactly.
Did these people go to Craigslist and buy a fucking weapon? No, they got them legally. And most of them, if not all of them, have had mental illness problems. So there should have been red flags put in place saying, nah, nigga, you can't get a fucking gun.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly. But let's say those red flags do come up. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, no, I'm sorry, there's red flags with your profile. We can't sell you this gun. Who's to say they don't just go to easy places?
How do you judge mental acuity? How do you judge mental acuity? Like, what is too fucked up enough for you not to own a gun?
Suicidal thoughts. I mean, you have. Go ahead.
I think to some degree, everybody has an instance of suicidal thoughts. I mean, it's just a part of the mentality as a human being. But I feel like those guys that actually did the shootings, they aren't like, you can't compare them to some nut job. You can't compare them to some nut job on the street that's just shouting out obscurities, you know?
Like the apocalypse is coming type guy.
You can definitely look at him and say, okay, I feel like this guy definitely has, you know, a mental issue. You know, if you're somebody selling guns at a store, you're not going to be able to determine, you're not going to be able to just look at him and assess from what he fills out or from whatever tests you have going on if he has mental disabilities. You know, and a lot of these guys, they're intuitive thinkers. You know, a lot of them are. Mental
disabilities is such a hazy field.
Exactly. They have, you know, a lot of these guys have had problems either with bullying or with different issues that have brought them to the point where they say, oh man, like, I need to take some lives with me while I go. My life is done already. I need to take something with me, you know, so I have a stamp on this. And I think that in itself, is a pretty intuitive thought.
That's one factor. Go ahead, Nick.
Putting mental illness aside,
the
United States is still the only first world country with cities on the most dangerous cities list. You know why? Because our gun control is so lenient.
True.
You look at countries like England, Germany, Japan, haven't had a mass shooting in decades because they're so strict on gun control.
Motherfucking Australia.
1996.
Australia, that gun control ban didn't do anything for them.
No lies.
No. You can look up the statistics.
1996.
Yep.
Mass shooting that killed almost, I think, 32 people. Conservative government does a gun buyback program, wipes out all guns in the country. Murders, suicides down by hundreds of percentages.
Suicides.
Okay, except I think that has a lot to do culturally,
and
too.
No mass shootings since.
Because the culture in the United States is very different from overseas, somewhere else. People are a lot more respectful of each other elsewhere. People are very individual and think about themselves here in the States.
I feel
so it's not necessarily just about having access to guns. It's It's how people's minds are.
I feel like people are generally shitty everywhere, though. Like, there's gonna be shitheads everywhere.
That's just
But
a
if you
pessimistic.
say that,
That's
then that
cynical.
shows that
No,
gun control
we
works.
need we need to
It's not even
continue. We need to
pessimistic.
continue to grow as a people, as human beings.
Exactly.
And the United States has led the world in almost everything else. Until recently, 10, 15 years ago, we were leading the world in everything else. Now everything's going to shit. Education's going to shit. Crime's going to shit. And the economy. But we're talking about gun control. And the factor that we were talking about was mental illness. Let's talk about the constitutionality of guns. Mm-hmm. In the Constitution, the Second Amendment states that a person should be a part of a well-regulated militia. What that means to me is that motherfucker should be trained when they get a gun. You are trained more to drive a car than you are to go up and buy a gun.
I agree.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's a scary feeling.
There's more people that die from car accidents. People die. But when it comes to owning a gun and having the power to kill someone just by looking at them and pulling a trigger, you need the proper training and you need to have background checks.
Not just anyone can own a gun. They really do test you. I mean, if you are military, because they train you in the military, you automatically get a shoo-in because you have had training with the gun.
Listen, I'm a hypocrite. I own a gun. I went and I got a gun. And I got a gun because of Donald Trump, and I was fucking pissed off, and I was irritated that a whole bunch of shit was going on in the world, and I'm like, man,
Were you gonna shoot someone? I don't think so.
No. If they're gonna have guns, I need a gun to protect myself. But again, where does my right to protect myself infringe on other people's rights to live their fucking lives? And I want to train myself on shooting a gun. Not everybody will. You know?
Yeah.
Hey,
I agree that it, like, being trained, just like how when you try to get your license, you have to go through driver's ed school, like doing the behind the wheel. I feel like you should have to have some hours with a trained, like, supervisor helping you out, making sure you know all the gun safety mechanics and all of that. And some places like have that for free when you purchase a gun, but obviously it's not required. I feel like it should be required and have.
But even if it is, man, even if it is,
there's gonna be
somebody who's gonna go through and be. He's gonna be on a sheet of paper. He's gonna be the cleanest fool you could see.
Exactly.
He's gonna pass all the tests. He's gonna be the best shooter, the best. Okay, he has the cleanest slate mentally. He's good. Mm-hmm. And then the next day he goes to a school and he shoots up a whole bunch of people.
Of course, there's always gonna be those people though.
There is no possible way unless you, which a lot of people argue, you can't regulate every individual's mind because the mind is so complex.
Yep.
You have people that are able to mask that
of course.
And a lot of those guys that do that stuff, like I said before, they are not the people that are outwardly insane that you can outwardly say, okay, that guy's nuts. That guy's got a screw loose.
No, of course.
You can't tell that. He's the one that's, he's reserved, he's intuitive, he's really smart. He knows what he can, he has a lot of different problem-solving skills that enable him to kind of get through that and say, okay, I'm going to pass. Even if the government does all those tests, says you have to pass this mental stability test, you have to pass this training of guns, he'll pass it. He'll do it. He'll go through the time. He'll pass it.
But
so
is it still worth to pass some kind of legislation that is going to catch some of those offenders that you can catch?
That makes it more difficult, man.
Isn't it worth it to try and put some kind of legislation, in fact, that you can catch 5, 10, even one person from buying a gun that fails that test? Isn't it worth it?
Let me go back to Kenton's point. Like, so with guys like that, how do you stop them? Because a lot of these people, like the Route 66 guy, he didn't. Last I checked, he didn't have any prior. Like he had a clean slate, completely. And how do you prevent guys like that from getting guns?
Bad people are gonna do bad things. So what
course.
makes you think that they're gonna go through the legit way of getting things? No, they're gonna go through people who can get them guns illegally. If anything, you need to come down on people who are coming in with weapons and like the cartels and stuff like that. That's where your focus should be, if anything, because like I said, bad people are gonna do bad things, and if they really want to do it, they'll find a way. No amount of control will do anything
that gets
about
into the drug war and what's going on with Mexico. Most of the guns that are purchased in the U.S. are purchased legally.
Of course,
they buy them
but
themselves.
Also,
They buy them themselves.
Also, statistically, the most deaths by gun is suicides.
Of course. And
Well,
shouldn't we
and
want
then
to...
even that would prevent
Exactly.
suicides if you couldn't buy a gun.
High cholesterol.
But I mean, it would just shift it to you're gonna have suicide by other means. If those people want to kill themselves, they're gonna do it.
But
if those people are dedicated to killing themselves,
Find a way.
they're gonna do it. It's not gonna matter if they have a gun sitting next to them or a rope that they can construct.
Again,
if they want to kill themselves, they're gonna do it.
all lives,
You
all
can't
lives that we
control
can
a
save.
person's mind.
Even one life that we can save by keeping guns out of their hands. Shouldn't we try?
But how is that life being saved though? To what extent is it
exactly.
being
Who are we-
saved?
who are we?
Because if being saved is being
Having to live
being
in a shitty life.
living a shitty life in torture, and your mind is constantly being just tortured and whipped
Some
into
people are dealt a shit hand.
some people just
Exactly.
can't take it. Some people have just shit hand, and some people can't take it. There are some people that can
goes into
come
a
out of
mental
it.
health. That goes into a mental health argument.
Yeah, and that is completely separate from them being able to buy a gun or not. I think it's
See,
if
Not
they
to
want to
mention
kill themselves,
that
they're going to
mental
do it.
Health is not fully mapped. It's not a science that is perfected yet. That's
Of
why
course.
you can't just take one medication. You have to find the one medication that works for you. It's not a precise science yet.
now, what about people that are taking meds for their mental health? Like they know, like, hey, me without like these meds, I'm kind of loco or whatever. Like
Again,
even
I'm a
something-
strong-
What are you saying? Are you saying those people that are taking meds shouldn't be able to buy? What are you saying?
Exactly. Like, should they
Well,
be able to? Like, they're avidly like. They
Yeah,
don't want
I mean,
these thoughts, and they're-
I
they're
mean that should
trying to.
be obvious. I mean that's that. But
Except,
I mean
like,
even
if they-
even if they are getting sold guns, I mean honestly, I'm not being insensitive or anything like that. But the statistics are just so small. I mean, granted, there are a lot of things, and we are living in a world of media where this stuff is
Blown out of
vividly seen by every person on media. Think back 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago. You wouldn't have been able to see as much
Yep.
as everybody else sees. There's a shooting in this town. There's a shooting at this school. How would that have come about? You would have to read it in the paper. And
Yep.
there's not a lot of people that are going to read it in the paper. High school students are not reading the newspaper to where they're going to see, oh, man, 17 people just got shot in this high school.
They're looking up Instagram,
They're looking
Facebook,
up-
Snapchat.
it's-
Why do we have guns?
And it's on a roll. It's on a roll.
Why are we allowed to have guns? What is the purpose of U.S. citizens to purchase a gun? What is the root cause for that Second Amendment? Why is that put in there? Why?
It's because they set it as a failsafe in case the government
Tyrannical government.
Exactly.
Okay, tyrannical
And
government.
that is what we, as a people, are fearing most today.
Are these
especially
mass
with Donald Trump in
shootings?
office. People are afraid of what he's gonna do. He's so here and there.
These aren't fucking liberals going out and buying these guns. Well, yeah. After fucking Trump got elected, there was liberals. I'm a liberal. Went out and bought a gun. But these mass shootings that are happening is not because of a fucking tyrannical government. It's because of mental health, and that's a harder discussion.
But what if it
you
is
can't
a
always-
what if it is a tyrannical government?
It is,
How
but
can
it's a
you
monopolized-
as a gun owner rebel the government? How can you effectively go and attack the government?
well in
They
Iraq.
think in their minds that they are attacking the government
We
by going
train.
to a school, and shooting. Because look at how low the budget for schools is. Look at how easy it is to go. Look at all these school shootings. Look how easy it is to go to walk into a school and just shoot people. I'm not saying this
what's
is
the
what they're
answer to
doing,
that?
but I'm saying
Well, what's the answer to that? We don't arm
There is-
fucking teachers.
No.
That's not the answer. And it's not video games that's causing these
Not
shootings.
at all.
Okay?
No,
That's
we
another
as
issue.
humans have
That's
been.
another
from
issue.
that.
No,
Okay, but
we
what's
have
wrong with teachers being armed in case something bad does
Because
happen?
Students
What-
that don't have guns get shot. That's what's gun. That's
Except-
what's wrong.
No. What if, as a teacher, you're just having a shitty day? I work in the
Fucking
the
kill yourself
education
right in
system.
front of the fucking class.
No.
I'm done with you. You
There's a
don't
lot
know
of
what
men-
three.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
like
where
two
the
people.
whole regulation that you're talking about comes to play. If you have a screw loose, you shouldn't be teaching children to begin with.
Except,
But then that
how
goes
do
back
you-
to mental
how do you
health. There's no
regulate
way to measure
who
that.
has a screw loose? Like, if they're already in the system, it's hard to get them out of the education system. You have to literally try and get fired. Like,
Exactly.
There's
So what?
been shitty
so
teachers,
what's-
shitty paraeducators, and all
Tenure.
That needs to
Tenure.
be reformed as well.
So what's the difference between that and not being able to buy a gun? You know, what's the difference between that? If there's no way to measure a person's, sanity per se. There's no way to measure that. So how can
Exactly.
how can you regulate
measure
who
Putting-
buys a gun and who doesn't?
Putting all mental health aside, is it any coincidence that the United States is the only first world country with mass shootings still happening in some of the most dangerous cities in the world? And you look
Well,
at all these other developed nations that don't have that problem, and they have strict gun control.
I think it's a cultural issue. It's not.
That's what I said,
Honestly,
it's
I
societal.
think it's a
That's
cultural
that's what
issue.
makes that's what makes us
95.
United
But
States
are you willing
citizens.
to take that?
Yeah,
More crime.
Shouldn't
more-
we try to change? Shouldn't we try to make ourselves better?
Every country, yeah, you want to make yourself better, but every country has their downfalls.
Exactly.
Just because Australia has this strict gun control where they don't have any mass shootings or whatever the hell it is,
We're-
doesn't mean that they have been a
Like
prime
the perfect-
country, the
exactly.
perfect country that hasn't sustained any
I don't
type
give a
of
fuck about
any
perfect
type of
countries.
instability throughout.
We're a
No such
table
thing as
full-
utopia.
Yeah, we're people sitting around the table. We're all competitive as fuck. Don't we want to
Yep.
be number one
Of
in
course.
everything? Don't we
Yeah.
want to be number one? So when it comes to that, shouldn't we be number one in safety? Shouldn't we be number one in fucking
And it's
education?
not even
We
about
should,
being
but
the best country, man. It's
doesn't-
the fact that 17 kids
We should.
died the other day,
Yeah,
and that doesn't happen in other countries.
and there were steps
Kids, man.
that could have prevented that.
It's
honestly.
not even, no
If-
one's saying
hey,
that we need to flat out ban guns.
There's
no one's
every-
saying that.
And
throughout history, there is always steps that can prevent things,
Shouldn't
man.
we learn from it?
There
though?
was-
there are
Instead
steps
of-
to
instead
prevent
of
Hitler,
rebelling-
but
it
no one
doesn't
did that.
happen. It doesn't happen overnight.
It
doesn't happen overnight,
why-
man.
why-
That's what I'm saying.
No, but why do we
made
keep on
strides.
pushing it back? We keep on pushing this conversation back. We never really fucking deal with the issue. We get the issue. We confront it. There was another mass shooting. A whole bunch of children died. Oh, thoughts and prayers.
Exactly.
Thoughts and prayers.
Hashtag thoughts and prayers.
Hashtag thoughts and prayers. We don't
And we
buckle
push
down.
it aside until the next one.
We
man.
don't
Okay,
buckle
so what
down.
are you going to do to the schools? Are you going to arm them? Are you going to defend them? What is
Or
your
gun
approach
control.
to protecting the school?
It's
Honestly,
not about gun
They're,
control.
it's
It's
more
not
And
about
what
gun
happens when you
control.
protect the school? Okay, so the school's protected. Somebody wants to shoot up something. So where are they going to go next? The
But
mall?
shouldn't we make
so
it
then
more
now you
difficult?
have the malls being targets. It's bad people are
You
going
guys-
to do bad
the-
things.
one of the
where
main
there are
arguments-
shifts from schools or whatnot.
One of the main arguments
Yep.
for gun control or against it is a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun, right?
And-
when it comes to our police force and everything else, these motherfuckers they are trained, but they need to be paid what they deserve to be paid.
Yep.
Same thing with teachers when it comes to education, but that's another subject. When it comes to cops and people that have guns, they need to be trained like motherfucking military members.
Yep.
If the Second Amendment was put in place to fight a tyrannical government, shouldn't our states be strong enough to fight a tyrannical government? Shouldn't they be trained like they are their own military? When it comes,
Training can be sought out individually.
yeah, privatize it.
Okay, but what are you
Privatize
saying?
it.
What are you saying right now? You're saying you want to overthrow the government.
No,
No,
not at all.
No, but
No.
in a certain extent you are, because you are saying that the right to bear arms is
It's a contingency
amendment
plan.
of our
Fail-safe.
government.
It's a fail-safe.
It's an amendment of our government saying that you want to if you want to overthrow our government, then you have the right to bear arms to do so and to carry it out. But
It's
as
actually-
our
it's
government,
saying-
think about it from the higher powers of our government. They do not. You say you want this change, and everybody's protesting to say, "Oh, we want gun control. We want this. We want that from our government." The government it has to protect. The government is protecting itself to basically just keep itself from not being overthrown from putting in that Second Amendment.
We're a motherfucking democratic republic, which means we have a federal government and we have individual states that have power. When it comes to marijuana, even we can't even legalize marijuana in the individual states and have it run smoothly without going through the federal government. When it comes to a democratic republic, the reason why Donald Trump got fucking elected is because we are a democratic republic. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. The only reason why Donald Trump's president right now is because he won the fucking electoral college, which is just based off of the numbers allotted to the states allowed by the federal government. So when it comes to military and when it comes to each individual state having its own power, I honestly think we should start empowering each individual state to start to counter, to at least try to stick up to getting fucked and the taxes and the legislation that is put on us every single day.
Because each state should be able to. Because if you think about it, each state has a way that they do things. California, obviously, very, very much more relaxed and very much more liberal, as you would say.
For sure.
So they should be able to run things the way that they do things, and if people don't like it, they can move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except
it takes. All I have to say is it takes time. You can't protest one day, 1 week, 1 year.
The protest
and it happened the next.
Listen,
it's not gonna happen. You can be as advocate for anything you want. You can be like you can have so many different types of powerful points that you can just drive yourself off of. And man, I'm just telling you, like, you really have to just sit back and think about how much time it takes for stuff to happen, especially with our government.
Oh my God!
But don't you think that's a good thing?
How long just like gay marriage, it like finally got legal. Like it got proposed in California, 2008 or something, and it failed, and everyone's all expecting it to like immediately change overnight. Yeah. It didn't even get proposed for another 3 or 4 years.
Guns and gun lobbyists pay to put this shit on the back burner. Okay, we do not.
The
Everybody
NRA
pays for what they want.
Of course,
the NRA
Everybody.
is one of the most powerful lobbyist groups in the United States.
Yeah,
and all these gun manufacturers like Remington are billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
It shows that there's an interest for the United States to keep them around, man.
The only reason why there's still fucking cancer in the world is because the big pharma makes billions of dollars off of it. Exactly. Billions of dollars of motherfuckers dying every goddamn day. That's the only reason why.
Why would you
same thing with the gun?
Why would you sell something that cures a disease when you can string them along for the rest of their life?
We're living in a monopoly capitalist USA.
And fun fact, I don't know if y'all know this, because my immediate family lives in Oklahoma, okay? Very lax. They're very lax on guns over there, okay? My mom and my dad both have their concealed carry permits. Mm-hmm. And when they took the class, you don't even need to hit the target that's 10 feet away from you when you're shooting to get qualified for it.
Really?
Yeah.
All you have to know is how to shoot, how to reload,
and how to aim.
That's it.
Just aim like in the general.
But what would that matter in the instance of
you're willing
gun control?
You're willing to give someone a gun. You can't hit something that's 10 feet in front of them, and you say you're cool to carry that around town.
Okay, but wouldn't that be better than if they're aiming at somebody, then they miss?
I'd rather them not have that gun because they're gonna hit me in the background, bro.
Exactly.
I'll just over here buying Starbucks.
I'm just saying.
And they're gonna shoot the burglar, bro, and it's gonna fly past and hit me in the neck.
I hear you, but they missed the person that they were aiming at. Yeah. You know that it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I think.
I don't see how that's irrelevant.
I think it's irrelevant.
If there's someone with a gun, and you have the potential to be able to stop them, and you're the world's shittiest fucking aim. Like, you can't even hit some. If they're 10 feet away, you can't even hit them. Like, how is that irrelevant?
If you
But
like,
but what about the people that can hit them? You know, okay, say you did say, okay, somebody has to qualify, somebody has to hit all these targets to qualify. That person hits all the targets, then instead of killing 17 students, they kill 30. Because they're
I guess there's just two
outstanding
sides
shot.
of the coin.
no, listen.
They're an outstanding shot. That doesn't matter.
That is
So,
That
good.
doesn't
so you're
matter.
saying that the
Point.
point that we're trying to make, which is train people to own, like train people, if they want to own a gun, you have to be trained.
No, I'm
know
not-
how to use it. The person
'Cause
that's getting
that's the
trained
point that I
is
was
going to go to
making.
a school.
Is that
like,
these people
headshot,
who aren't
Call of Duty,
trained
50
at all
points. Here we
can
go.
carry a gun around town. Like, you can be in a fucking Dairy Queen, bro, and the guy next to you got a gun in his pocket, and you wouldn't even know.
True.
That's how things roll in Oklahoma, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's the world we live in. Hey,
look
that-
at the states
But
that have
are you
concealed
willing-
carry permits. They have statistically less mass shootings because they know any motherfucker in this mall
Okay.
Yo.
probably has a gun.
okay,
got-
but at the same instance, everybody is allowed to get a driver's license. Am I right?
Yo, but
And
cars
that
are
is
a
that
daily
is one of the
necessity
number
of life,
one
man.
That is the
Daily
number
necessity.
one
A gun
causes
is not
of death in the United States.
Because it's a daily
Is
part of
driving
life,
a
man.
car.
Nobody
Go
needs a gun every day of
back
your life, man. Nobody
to-
uses a gun every day
Go
of their
back
life.
to the root.
But it's still killing people.
Go.
The-
Regardless,
The
a
re-
car
because
still,
we-
even if
the
you
reason-
necessity.
Wipe
still
out cars
killing
from humanity, bro, and society doesn't run. If you
Doesn't
wipe
run.
out guns, the world will go on
society
just fine.
can still run. Society
one-
can still
Without-
run.
without cars?
The
Society can
No.
still run without
Hey.
cars.
Society
live-
survived before cars, invented cars.
Except
they
nowadays.
can go back without
Listen-
cars.
I work in Vista, California. I live in Temecula. That's
That's an
about
hour
hour drive.
one way.
I would for work. I would be late if I left now.
Taking horse and carriage.
Horse and carriage. I would be late.
That's
Okay.
BS. You
No
can find a way to get
bullshit.
there. You can find the
Where's the
train.
nearest train?
What train?
Where's the nearest
Heaven.
train?
What train?
Okay, that takes a half hour.
I don't
in
want
a
to get
car.
shot. I don't want to get shot going.
You
to
would
heaven.
you would acclimate. You would acclimate
That's
if you wanted a
perfect.
job. You would acclimate without having a car.
So you're
The whole
saying-
society
it's not
would
even,
acclimate.
It's not even just
without
getting to
having a
work, bro.
car.
There are hundreds of
true.
thousands of trucks that go around the United States every single day delivering
Yep.
produce.
Yep.
All the goods for every
Yep.
single merchandising store in the nation, bro.
So
if
you
all
say-
that shut down one day, no business runs.
True.
Restaurants shut them down.
Okay.
Grocery stores.
Well
shut
then
'em
why
down.
well then why not make those guys heavily regulated and heavily tested, heavily skilled to drive a car to prevent car accidents from that in that instance. What I'm saying, I'm not trying to bring up, point specific things like this, but I'm just saying it's not going to make a big difference. As far as gun control, it's not going to make a big difference. It's not.
I
you know?
feel like
It's not.
So is
if
it
you-
not worth trying?
if
Yeah.
there no
Okay.
like,
is the
Let's
point.
talk
there's
about
always
let's-
there's always a reason to try, no matter what. Like, if you're fighting with your own life, there's always a reason to just try and push past. Okay, like adding the new like training or background checks or whatever you want to fucking call it. There's always a reason to try.
We live in California.
If you can,
We live in
if you can
California.
save even
There are-
one fucking life,
Exactly. That we live in California. There are wildfires every single fucking year.
Okay,
Okay,
so
that's
there's-
inevitable. It's inevitable that we're gonna have a fucking fire.
so
does that mean
is there no reason to try?
exactly?
Like,
Does that mean
it's
we don't have
inevitable.
firefighters? Does that mean we do not put in place the kind of legislation and the control?
well, then
to
I also
stop
wanted
fires?
to touch on something else, and that's people who these kids in school who walk out. That's something I wanted to touch up upon because they.
Are you
they
talking
want
about the walkout for
yeah,
the 17
there's a lot of walkout
Oh, yeah.
protests that
No.
these children are having.
I was there like I said, I work for the education system. I was there, and all these kids walked out of school. Like, what does that help? That doesn't fucking help.
Doesn't help
anything.
anyone. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Yeah, it
They're
doesn't.
losing education
Yep.
doing things like
Yep.
that, and they just want to do it because they can get out of class.
Exactly.
A lot of people.
Get out of class.
90% of those fucking students don't understand why they're walking. They're just like, oh, there's a walkout. I get out of class.
Exactly. The
So I think those
educational
things are
system.
ridiculous.
I already talked to Nick about this, man. We have a broken educational system that I took
We
advantage
do.
of.
Despite a broken education system, I'd say that's completely ridiculous to say these students do not understand what they're out there for.
No,
I agree with that.
100%.
I
I've
agree
even
with
asked.
that.
I personally asked students.
No,
I'm
but
like, "Why are you
some of
walking
them-
out?" They're like, I don't know. My friend's walking out, and
No, some of them understand what's going on. Like the majority are fucking sheep that are just going to follow
Yep.
and want an excuse to leave. But some of them that want to make a difference
I
are
get it.
going.
I get it. I was a kid.
And I don't believe in the fucking protests that are doing. The goddamn march that happened not going to do shit unless
Nope.
we start taking away fucking money from the NRA.
Also-
Instead of giving money and bringing fucking attention to the subject, we need to take money away. How we do that is to boycott. We need to boycott these different institutions. Fucking Dick's took away the guns. You have to be 21 to buy a gun at Dick's. Different guns.
They banned assault rifles
except
too,
for
man.
They banned assault
boycotting,
rifles.
because the way that a lot of things go here is people complain a lot and nothing happens. So what I think that should happen is you want to make change in this world, then you fucking do it yourself. That's where you start.
Yep.
You are the one who makes the change. You don't say, "Oh, whine," and
Let
then you
people
expect
follow.
the fucking government to do
Let
it.
people
No,
follow behind
you
you.
do it. If it matters that much to you, then you're gonna fucking do something about it.
Stand up and fight for your right. Like, honestly, like, you can't expect anything to get done if you sit here waiting for someone else to do it. Because who knows if you have the same opinion or idea as you do. Like, you cannot expect people to just do something for you. In today's society, we are living in a turn on, turn off scenario where you, and Nikki said this the other day, that we can turn off like our connections just as easy as we can turn off Wi-Fi. So why can't you turn on your opinions and actually speak out? Stop being fucking sheep.
I mean, as much as you say that, though, it's not going to change. It's not going to change
It will,
who a person
eventually.
is. It will eventually, and it takes time, though. It takes time. Okay? Look how long it took. I don't want to make this segment about race or anything like that.
No.
I have to chime in a little bit about
course.
race. Just to touch on the point about gun control. I mean, just look at who's able. Look at how many people in the black community are able to get guns. Look at how many guns are in the black community. Do you see the black community going and shooting up schools? Do you see them going and killing people? They kill them, killing people in a public forum. They kill them in their own communities. They're killing their own people in their own communities. How did they get those guns? Did they go to a Dick's?
Not legal.
And fill out paperwork saying that they have their income set, they have everything set, they have their credit set, they have everything else
They
set,
know a guy.
and buy a gun?
How did they get cocaine?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
They know a guy.
How
They
did
know
they
a
get
guy.
those?
No, they don't know a guy. They don't know a guy.
How did they get that stuff?
Cocaine was planted there
Exactly.
to kill them.
Exactly.
Cocaine was there to create territorial boundaries and separate the black community so that they started fighting internally to kill each other off.
Kill each other off and keep each other in poverty.
Keep each other in poverty. And then gentrification happened and started pushing them further and further into poverty. So when it comes to guns, when it comes to drugs in the black community, you strengthen yourselves. Strengthen numbers. You need to realize who the real enemy is. And it's not your brother in red. It's not your brother in blue. It's the person that created those colors and the meanings behind it.
It's the person that created that divide. We as a people. It is we as a people. It's not you as a people and I as a people. It is we. We have to unite.
Yeah, I completely agree, but at the same time,
shit.
it takes time. It takes
Exactly.
time.
Think about evolution. It doesn't happen
It
overnight.
takes time.
But if if one person can stand up today, what do you think our future is going to be like? It's going to be fucking amazing
We need
if
to
we
consider
And there
who's
are
in power.
people. There are people standing up today.
So do you
But
guys?
people want things to happen overnight, and it's just
exactly
not going
because
to.
we're in that type
It's
of
just
society
not
that
going to.
You can order a package from fucking China or whatever. It'll be here tomorrow if you pay an extra $5 more. Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Oh, I was thinking about Wish.
So I got one point I want to raise to everyone.
bring it.
Can anyone think of one good reason why you need to own an assault rifle relative to, let's say, a shotgun or a handgun?
Well,
Because let's say, for instance, you're defending your house. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be close proximity combat, you know?
People
Where
are
handguns are most
afraid
proficient.
of assault rifles, but I'll tell you what's deadlier: hunting guns. And a lot of people own hunting guns. They're way more powerful.
yep.
Okay,
Handguns.
and they can go a lot farther.
Handguns
They are
are
way more powerful than an assault rifle,
But
which
it's a-
has a much shorter range.
The
It's a
majority-
bolt action, though. You shoot it 20 times slower.
Yeah.
And
But
if
the
you miss
majority
your
of
first
deaths-
shot-
the majority of deaths in the U.S. are due to handguns
Exactly.
and just regular pistols. When it comes to an AR-15, who really needs to own an AR-15?
That's
I
what I'm
agree with
saying.
you. Who really needs? It's not
Like,
a
give me-
hunter.
I want
But
someone
if
at this
you
table to
if
give
you
me
need an
one-
AR-15
one
to take out
good
a fucking
reason.
deer, you're weak.
Why you need to own that weapon?
All right,
You
all
are
right.
weak.
So you take that away. What happens? You kill what? 5 less people in your shooting?
No, you
10
prevent-
less people?
No,
That's
what?
great.
All you,
Hey,
all you need to
I
do
would
is
take
prevent the
At that-
Aurora
no,
shooting.
You'll
not-
take
not
that.
Even, not even. At that point, all you just need is some extra clips for your fucking pistol, and you're good. It takes 2 seconds, if that, to reload a fucking pistol.
So your guys'
bang, bang,
point
bang,
is your guys'
reload.
point is so that Florida shooting. So the guy goes in and shoots, let's say 5 people. He shoots 5 people. You guys are good. Everybody is good. Everybody's good with just 5 people. Is that okay?
Because the point is,
that
no
okay?
matter how
if he
fast...
went in with a pump action shotgun and he killed 5 people, is that all right?
well,
compared
the
to 17?
chances are a lot less, my man.
The
And the
what do
point
you
I-
is,
I don't think
is that
so.
no
I don't- what do you
pistol has
mean?
a 30-round magazine.
You don't
The
need a
chance-
30 round.
okay.
The point is, you can walk into a place. Exactly. It's first of all, it's clip. You can walk into a place.
You can
At
call
most,
it
it
magazine.
probably has what, like 15 rounds, whatever. Bang, 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 bang. It literally just drops.
That's another
and-
10 seconds less that you're killing people,
No,
man.
it's not.
Listen.
No, it's not. I promise you, I can get.
Listen.
If we're in a training exercise
I'm gonna
right
go-
now, I can get through an entire place.
I'm going to use the
And
fire
most
analogy.
handguns have a bullet this big.
I'm gonna
as
use
an
the-
assault
It-
rifle, they're this
yeah,
big.
A
I'm
bullet
gonna
through
use-
your brain is still
Hey,
going to do the exact same
I'm going
thing.
to use the fire
It doesn't
analogy
matter.
again.
Who's in there popping 30
far
headshots,
as
bro?
the
Ain't
fire
nobody in there
analogy-
popping 30 headshots.
You are if you're trained.
As far as the fire analogy, shit's gonna happen. Things are gonna happen. Wouldn't you want it to be controlled at the very least? Or are you gonna just let it burn?
Controlled in what way?
And I asked if
Exactly.
there was
How-
one good
Controlled
reason.
How are
what
you
way?
gonna? How are you
What's
gonna
the
control
difference?
this?
What's the difference between 17 people getting shot today and 5 people getting shot in a school 10 years from now, 5 years
people.
from now?
12.
What's the difference?
People. That's the difference. 12 lives that
12
weren't-
people, but are
12
those
people.
5 people still not going to be
Hey,
be mourned?
listen,
are they still? Is this
they're
still
gonna be
gonna,
mourned.
not going to blow up on social media?
They're gonna be mourned. But at least those 12 people can grow up, live, and create better circumstances for others if they choose to do so. Like, this is the thing.
but
And
okay.
this, I'm
But
going to
people
go back
have to
into
realize-
a different
people have
subject
to realize
when it
that-
comes to.
But people have to realize that's the way of how the world is set up right now. People are going to die from sickness. People are going to die from war. People are going to die from car accidents.
Yep.
People are going to die
Yep.
from everything.
Yo.
There are ways for every single circumstance that we can minimize. Yeah, that we can minimize the amount of people that are dying. But it's still all right. Hold on, Nick. But it's still there are still people that are going to die. You know,
no matter what.
And there are still people that are going to say,
Who says the?
"Oh, we could have minimized that. Those 5 people didn't have to die."
Who says those 12 different people aren't going to eventually die from cholesterol
Exactly.
or a car
Yo,
accident?
I'd rather them
big
die
ifs.
from that where it hurts themselves, man.
Oh, they're
Exactly.
big ifs now.
Yo.
They're big ifs now.
But I asked-
That's
can
not
die.
even big if.
I asked if there was one good reason why someone needs to own an assault rifle. No one can give me a clear answer.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear someone give me one good answer
There's,
why someone needs to
there's
own
not
that.
there's not a good enough reason why they can't own an assault rifle. That's my
Yeah.
point.
What-
But
what's
there's
a good
not a good reason
you-
why they need
No,
to.
but
My
what's a
opinion
good
is
reason?
that people can own, especially if they're trained, whatever the hell they want to. Just
Exactly.
like,
What's-
why would
what's
I
the
want to own
difference?
iPhone over an Android phone?
You
What's
guys
the
are
difference?
over here.
Preference.
As far as
You're
as far as
creating-
statistics goes, what's the difference if I own a Lamborghini versus a Honda?
That's completely different. Those are luxury items that don't hurt anybody.
Check this out. Yes, they do. Have you ever heard of the car accident death toll? It is a lot more than the gun death toll.
Y'all
I'll
are
promise you
creating-
that.
you're
No,
You're creating situations
all it is
where these people die. Like, listen,
People
this
die
is-
from vending machines
die.
falling on a road. Should we
Motherfuckers
ban
could-
vending machines? No, that ain't the
Exactly.
same thing.
motherfucker could die from
people
thyroid
can.
disease.
That's
They
just
could
the
die
way
from
of the
cancer.
world.
But shouldn't we try to save as many lives as possible?
Of
Shouldn't
course,
we?
no joke. And
Shouldn't
that's
we?
why there should be something in place that actually prevents like
Exactly.
But
But why?
how
You
do
guys'
you-
arguments
how
that
do
they're
you
going to
judge
die
that?
regardless. What the fuck is
So
that?
we just shouldn't stop them.
We shouldn't stop them. They're going to die regardless. Either it's fucking
I'm not,
cardiac
I'm not,
arrest.
I'm not
guns.
saying I'm not saying they're gonna die regardless.
No.
I'm just saying that what is it? How big of a change is it gonna be if you take that away? How big is it gonna be in the
You've
long
seen
run?
big change in
We
many
all-
other countries, man.
No.
Listen,
Cultural or
we're-
not.
Listen, we're all going to die eventually.
Yeah.
Okay?
of course, that's just a real fact.
We're all going to die.
That's not even
eventually.
like pessimistic.
true.
No, we're all gonna die eventually. But the person that gets shot by a gun that was bought legally, that was fucking growing up to be the next goddamn Stephen Hawking,
Let's be real
the
here.
next
like
the next
chances
motherfucker that was
of
gonna
that-
cure cancer.
The chances
could have
of
also
that
lost
being-
that person to disease. We
No,
don't know.
exactly.
There was a possibility, but at least we did something to stop, to at least hinder their ability to kill as many people as possible. We don't need for self-defense. Like, I completely understand. Yes, you need guns to defend themselves, but why do you need to kill multiple people while you do it? When it comes to a home break-in, is it 12 people that are breaking into your fucking house at a time?
That's a
No.
freak. That's a
We gotta
freak
lay 'em
occurrence.
out.
That's a freak occurrence of nature. That's a freak occurrence of nature. Just as the
what's a
same as
freak
you can
occurrence of
die
nature?
from a tsunami, as you can die from an earthquake. That is nature. People.
There's a mass
Not the
shooting.
typical
There's a mass
person-
shooting every
not the
single day.
typical person
I don't know
wants
about
to
every
just
single
shoot up
day.
and
Exactly.
day.
I
That
don't
is
know
not.
about
That
every
is
day.
not.
people to thrive. So it's not something that happens all the time, but when it does happen,
It is
the
definitely-
whole freaking nation erupts into
Yo.
some sort of chaos.
Yeah, but is anything
There's-
fucking done?
Yo,
is
so-
anything done about it?
Nothing can be done
United
like
States
immediately.
bullshit.
Nothing can be done immediately.
Nothing can be done immediately,
Immediately,
because
it takes time.
There's a process that has to go through. People can't just be like, okay, well, this is stupid. Let's just say no to it. No, it has to pass through this.
As soon
pass
as
through
the
that.
assault rifle was invented, as soon as an automatic weapon was invented, there was mass shootings. Has there been?
There's been
a
mass-
piece
there's
of
been mass
legislation
killings ever since.
that has been put in place
Okay,
to hinder that
but
shit?
look at this.
When
Look
I
at this.
think of the mass shootings, there's only 2 to 3 maybe that come to mind just using handguns alone. Every single other one, use of an assault rifle.
Well,
Any
okay.
coincidence?
What about a submachine gun? Like, why?
Again,
why
a
don't
weapon
you bring
designed
that
to
in?
kill people. Why do you need that in
Technically,
society?
Weapons are designed to kill
Exactly.
people.
Technically, all weapons are designed to kill people. Okay. Like,
Exactly. You can have somebody who's way more skilled at shooting with a pistol or a shotgun than
can
somebody
kill
who has an AR-15.
Can we-
Somebody with the pistol or the shotgun can kill way more people than somebody with the AR-15.
Can we admit
the
that
guy
there's a
with the-
problem? Can we admit that there's a
There's
problem?
always a problem.
There's a problem.
There's a problem
this
with
nation
everything.
thrives on problems.
What are-
it is
no,
always
listen.
It
always
thrives.
Who are
It
we
be
as human
profits.
beings? What makes us human beings? Our ability to control nature.
Okay, I mean-
that's what makes us human beings.
You
so
can't.
when it
No.
comes to when it
Maybe
comes
you need to back up.
disease-
You can't
No,
control
let me finish
nature.
this.
You
Let me
can't
finish
control
this.
Nature will
nature.
find a way to control
You can't
you.
control
No,
nature.
no, I know that, but that's what made us humans. We controlled nature by going into fucking caves and taking
Humans
shelter
can't play
so that we
God.
can. No,
And
we have.
been doing that and trying to.
We have been playing
protect
God.
endangered
You're
species.
okay, so
If
you're saying-
people if species are supposed to die, they're supposed to die. Yet we made pandas purposely procreate. If they didn't want to prolong their species themselves, they would have died out already. But human beings like to have this idea that they can play God in almost every situation.
You know how
and
we
that's
control
wrong.
nature? It's as simple as covering our nose when we sneeze. That's how we control nature. We know as a society, for us to thrive as human beings, we need to stop the spread of disease. Okay? So, and we know that disease kills. When it comes to guns, when it comes to anything that hinders our ability to survive as a species, we find answers. So now as a society, we know that guns are a problem. We know that it kills. So why are we just accepting it?
No one's accepting it.
Intended
No
to
one's just sitting
kill.
back
For the
and
sa-
accepting
But
it.
you're not
Why do you think
providing
there's
any
protest?
solutions. Every solution that is provided to you, you shoot down. So
Who,
please.
So we do
who
accept
are you
it.
talking to?
Exactly.
Who are you talking to? You're talking to one person that can say, you know what? You're right. You're right. Let's just change this. That sounds good. Let's just change it, and then everything just flips right off that.
We're dealing
Is
with
that who you're talking
We're
to?
dealing with a monopoly capitalist society.
Okay, and I know you have a certain kind of
Ideology.
following that, but it's a huge thing that you're dealing with here. You know,
And I understand that there's no simple answer to it.
And nothing's going to change overnight either.
No, but it's been
Regardless of whether it
fucking
changes
years.
overnight,
It's been
man.
decades. So I'm speaking as a liberal. We've presented solutions. Where are yours? Where is the solution as a conservative? Where as the spectrum as the right? You realize it's a problem. Guns kill. Are you going to accept it as they fucking kill, or is it let's stop the killing? Let's stop as much.
None of us are here to say let's ban guns completely. That's not what we're
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
We
But
just
it's making
agree
the
that
United
there's
States a safer place. Such a bad thing.
Yes.
and
a safer place. A safer place in what way? That you're saving 50.
Saving,
You're
I'd
saving a
rather
few more
save
people.
50 lives than none, man. Especially if 25 of them are kids.
I would fucking save one. I would rather save 15
if
lives
that meant some
than 16.
fucking yokel 40-year-old can't have
But-
But
5
the thing
guns.
is that you can't
instead
just
of
focus
3.
on one place. So you ban things from schools. You super protect these schools. Well, then they're
So the
just going to
shootings are gonna
find
happen in the
somewhere
schools.
else to focus
Then
on.
let 'em
aside
find
from
it.
schools.
Exactly.
And what-
Let them find it.
why would
Let
you-
them work hard and find that gun that they got to talk to 12 people.
You
and
don't
they can
even
just
have
go to
to.
the store, man.
You don't even have to.
Okay, and that
I
and that
guarantee
guy
you-
does then, and
I
he does, and
guarantee
another shooting happens.
Then make him work
Then
for
what?
it, dude.
Yes.
Instead of going down the street and coming to the
Exactly.
school next day.
You don't even have to talk to 12 people. I guarantee you find some guy on the street and be like, hey, I can get,
he
back-
just
like I
owns
said,
a whole bunch of
let
guns.
'em.
He wants
like
to
I
sell-
said, then
let
let
'em.
them find them, dude.
Let them, and then we will.
and going-
At least
Okay,
going
it
back
makes
to the
it harder.
All right, let him,
Going
and
back
then
to
he
the
kills
AR
more
point.
people. So so it's just you just keep on. So they just keep on killing people until
So you
it gets
just
to a
wanna make
point
it-
where it just
Everybody's gonna
What
fucking
happens?
die.
So you just want to make it. You
Oh,
can go to the
now
store
we're,
and buy
now we're
it
going
instead.
back to where everybody eventually dies. That's
Everybody's-
where we started.
Yep.
No, but we
That's
still
where we
have to-
started.
We still have to control. Everybody dies eventually,
Except
and we can't control everything. My point
That's
is
exactly- started.
So
That's
so
exactly
why,
where we
why
started.
why would you
You're
ban
asking me-
ARs
No, but you're
expecting
asking
that
me-
things are going to change
You're asking
when
me,
people can just take
why
a
save,
pistol into
why
a school?
save 2 or 3 people? Why save 2 or 3 people when everybody else is going to die? Because those 2 or 3 people have value.
The problem is, it's not in protecting the people. It's educating the people who have the guns.
But they don't
and-
even want to do that.
And just, not even just screening the people, but like, how would I put it? It's, I don't know how to say it. It's not protecting people. It's the people who the guns, the people who can get the guns that need help. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It
but-
somewhat makes sense, but you can't. We don't have the technology, and we haven't studied mental health enough to solve that problem.
So
When it comes to guns,
But
we
that
we
is the
listen.
problem.
And as far as 1991, I believe it was 1991. There was a ban on certain accessories that was put on assault rifles.
yeah, there's still a ban.
No, there's not a ban anymore.
there is- you can't get a silencer.
You can get a certain.
Thank
But
God.
there was certain
California.
accessories that were banned from 1991 to about 2002. I don't have the exact dates, but it was expired. During that time, gun violence went down. Mass shootings went down about 20 to 30%.
But there are still people dying from mass shootings, correct?
Yes, but
No
yes,
matter
So,
what.
so
Shouldn't
people
you
any
limit
kind of
that the
change.
most
people
you can.
people will
Any
ch-
kind of change.
people will adjust to the changes. You take away a certain type of scope. You take
That
away
is
a
so
certain type
true.
of
So-
a certain type of molding on the
so
gun.
you're telling
people
me-
are still going to train
So
and be good enough to
you're-
to
you're-
kill
so
somebody.
You'd rather give it to them than let them find it themselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're telling me,
Didn't
It's not even
want-
you're
that.
telling me it's
You-
That's
worth.
the point
People
here.
No.
didn't want the ability for a fast reload on certain types of guns, and it all hinged on like a pin, like how fast you were.
You're
able
telling-
to. And
so,
they
as
people
far-
found a way to get around that
As-
legally.
yeah, I get it.
What is going to stop you? Nothing.
As
Bad
far
people
it's
will
worth,
find ways
it's
to
worth
do
to just
things.
leave it alone. let's just leave it alone. It's gonna. This is just a part of life. You're telling me
What do
that
you-
we shouldn't try
So-
and change this shit. You're telling me
They
we
are
shouldn't.
gonna try and change it, but it takes time. A lot of people
that's
just
bullshit.
want stuff to happen in the moment. You're saying, okay, let's take away this. Let's take away the AR-15 and let's see how that goes. Okay,
That's
and then
not-
the next
that's
guy,
not gonna
the
help.
next guy
I
comes
can-
out with a pistol
I can
and
go-
kills 30 people. Let's take away the pistol. Let's take away that. Let's make it harder. Let's make it harder on him to go and kill somebody with a pistol.
I can go to
See what
Walmart
happens.
right now and get a $20 machete, 2 of them, and just walk around slicing. Are you gonna ban machetes now? Like, are you gonna ban
is
knives?
used as a hiking or a
you know what?
camping tool,
you know
man,
what?
and all this
Yeah,
other reasons.
exactly.
People are gonna
Except-
die.
A gun does
Except
not
gun-
have very many practical
Guns
applications.
are used
like
for
a
a
knife.
hunting purpose.
Hey, people are gonna die.
But a
Why-
knife you can
why
use
do
for
anything?
20 times more things
Why
than you
do
can use
anything?
for a gun.
Why fucking do anything?
Okay, so then
People
you
are gonna
ban
die.
guns. Okay, say if you ban
That
guns
doesn't make any
outright,
fucking
and
sense.
it's not even just banning guns.
Okay.
Like the use of it. People are gonna find other ways to use things. Look at what happened when they banned guns in Europe. Do you know how many people get stabbed in Europe?
Yeah, so much more.
Fucking ridiculous.
So much more
that somebody
per year.
made a
Per
statue,
capita.
a statue of the goddess of like death, out of all the knives that were used in murders, and it is massive.
Hey, I would rather a stabbing than a shooting. Go ahead.
Okay,
Except
Use a
just
fucking
just
knife,
recently,
no matter how it
just
happened.
recently, 93 people were stabbed in a row.
Oh man. Oh Jesus.
How-
Oh God. Stabbings.
Not
the
to
U.S.
mention,
has
you
Name
have
a mass-
to be
name a mass
conscious.
shooting
To
recently-
stab somebody, you have to be over somebody. You have to think about it and stab them. Whereas if you have a gun, you can shoot and fucking walk away.
Okay.
Name a mass shooting that's bigger than 93, where like you
There was 500 people in attendance at the goddamn country concert.
except how many people were actually shot and
Who
killed.
gives a fuck? How many people were shot?
The
There
most. I think it's 52.
were 52.
Families.
Okay,
Yep,
but
my
there were
mom was
families.
there.
There were families. One of my best friends was at that concert. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people at that concert. That fool bought that gun legally, and he shot down into a group of fucking people. You're telling me a man with a fucking knife went around and started? I blame the people that watched this fucker stab a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Stab one. Stab two, and then
Okay.
the guy
I agree.
that was 14.
How would you have
14
stopped that event from happening?
the stabbing?
No, the shooting in Las Vegas. How would you have stopped that event from happening?
He obviously like broke out.
How
a
would you have
window.
stopped that? He was a drunk. He was a redneck. It didn't look like he had any coordination. It didn't look like he had much. So a guy with no coordination, who just looks like a bum redneck, drunk redneck, goes to a hotel and shoots 500 people.
Why does he have?
Can
a gun?
anybody do that?
Why does he have a gun that mounts onto one of these military grade Jeeps?
Okay, and the same can be said about
Technically, any gun-
an ex-veteran who goes and does the same thing.
Technically, any gun.
He has
can
a gun.
be
He's
mounted.
an ex-veteran. Oh, he's an ex-veteran. He has a gun. Oh, he's trained to have that gun. He deserves
There's-
to have that gun.
There's
Listen,
a lot
what's
of
the
veterans
difference?
who are allowed to have guns that I most certainly would not allow to have
You
guns.
guys
course.
already admitted that this was a problem. Where are the solutions?
It's
Where are the
hard.
solutions?
It's hard to create a solution with such a variable as mental health.
There's not a variable.
There is.
There is a variable.
There
in
is.
mental health.
I
just,
would-
just as Kenton said.
How is it
Just as-
bullshit?
Yo, I
no,
would-
listen.
Just as Kenton said
Can
earlier.
you you can
walk
tell
in with
me
a
that
clean
there is
slate.
a test right now. There is a test out there right now that can distinguish every single person that has
There's not.
a mental disability, and you can pinpoint that, and you can say, "Oh no, you're not getting a gun
Not to
because
mention
you
that there's
have a mental
manic
disability."
And there's extremes in the mental disability, and then there's lows in the mental disability,
As
where
far
people
as
can take the medication
let's
to deal
just
with it.
focus
Some
on the
people
main.
can't.
Let's focus on the mainstream.
Well, mental health is a variable.
Except
Yes.
It is.
It is a
everybody
variable.
wants to throw
No,
mental
no,
health out
100%.
there and make it a
Let's
main
focus.
thing.
Let's focus on the mainstream mass
Mental
shootings.
health
Aurora,
is a
Colorado.
problem.
Aurora, Colorado. This latest Florida shooting, they both had recognizable mental health issues, and they were still able to purchase guns legally.
Okay,
So-
okay,
so
that's two
those
shootings.
alone. Those alone.
Except
No. Those alone. You stop those from happening. 17 people in Florida saved.
Except
24,
Check this out.
however,
No.
however many.
That's
were
check this
incredible.
out.
That's
All
wonderful.
I have
That's
to do,
wonderful.
if I was in their shoes and they
Hey.
said, "Oh, you have a red flag,"
They're
I go up
saved.
to my nearest friend. Hey, here's some money. Buy me a gun.
But did they?
They can.
But did they?
They could have.
But did they?
They could have.
But did they?
It doesn't matter.
It's not fucking proved.
It doesn't matter. They
But
can
did
easily
they?
do that.
We're talking about facts now. We're talking about facts. Legally purchased a gun.
Okay.
Did they? You
But
guys
listen,
are talking about fucking situations.
But you
You're
have to
talking
look
about
at it-
It's
stereotypical.
situations in which I can still
situations.
get a
But
gun.
did they?
You have to look at it on a grand scale. People want to look at it as they want to look at one
and
thing.
You're not looking
I
at
want
the
to hear
forest.
the ifs. The
They,
ifs.
No,
there's no
you're
ifs.
you're
There's
looking
no
at the
ifs.
tree.
What
The
ifs?
Look
What
at
ifs?
Tiny
Aurora,
tree.
Colorado, the fool purchased the guns legally. He would not have killed the people in that theater if he had to go illegally to purchase guns.
Yes, he would.
Maybe they killed
Yes, he
different
would.
people.
What-
If they
what
would have
is-
killed different
what is
people.
the difference of
They would have killed different
to a mass
people.
murderer? What's the
But-
difference between getting a
but-
gun legally and illegally?
Once
it just
people
means,
commit
oh no,
to
I have to.
something, they will do it
Exactly.
regardless.
Please,
okay.
hey guys,
Just listen.
can you cite me a source of someone that purchased a gun illegally?
Can we?
Look
Can we?
at all,
okay.
look at all the shootings in
Can
the
we-
black community, just like
Can we?
Kenton
Can we?
said.
Can we step back? Yeah. Can we step back?
name?
Can we step back from just
A name?
the actual shootings that
Any
just
names?
happened?
Any names?
Can we step back from the shootings?
Any
Are you,
names?
okay, so you're denying that hundreds of black individuals in the communities are getting shot and killed every day? Are you denying that?
That's because of the drug war. And
What drug war?
Not
The
even
war on
drug
race.
war. Not even,
They are U.S. citizens
people
in the inner
will
cities.
shoot you out there for stepping on your shoes. Like,
Yes.
straight up.
Exactly. What is the difference
It's not
between that
even
and
a
going
joke.
to a school and getting shot in the United States?
Do we
Are they
make-
not in the United States?
Do we make cocaine in the United States? It's cocaine.
So you're
They
you're
make
validating.
cocaine fucking everywhere.
Do we make it in the United States though?
So you're validating the fact that there's cocaine in those cities of the United States.
It was plugged.
of the United States.
It was plugged in those cities.
There's literally drugs in every country.
Okay, so just
Please.
because those cities have
Bring
drugs,
it.
all right,
Bring
it's
it.
okay. They can kill each other.
Exactly.
They can kill
Bring
each
it.
other.
Whatever.
It's in the U.S., but
They buy guns illegally.
nobody
They
hears
have
about
drugs.
that. Nobody
Same
does
thing.
walks for African Americans in
Exactly.
inner cities.
The
Like, what-
motherfucking government gave those guns to those black people. They gave those guns to
They
them.
would have gotten it
They're still
anyway.
dying, though.
From the fucking government. The reason why we have the Second Amendment is so that we can protect ourselves from the government. So why are we given guns from the government? So that we can kill each other.
Bullshit. No, we're giving guns to protect each other, and no one should have infringed on
No,
your right
please,
to
please.
protect yourself.
Why are we given guns to kill each other?
Name your
If
source.
Guns.
Name your source. You asked us to name our source, so name
I'm
yours.
gonna quote something here that I got because I texted during this.
Listen, you guys
thing.
wanna
And there's a
use
quote here.
your
It
fucking
says,
source.
"The right to bear arms is meant to protect us from tyranny.
Is that from the Constitution? No.
There is
Yes.
always a price to pay for everything.
That's not from the
And with
Constitution.
great power." Quoting Spider-Man
Oh,
here.
is that
With great
Spider-Man?
power comes great responsibility.
You're quoting Uncle
and
Ben.
that is
Spider-Man.
fucking
Uncle
true.
Spider-Man.
It is fucking
Spider-Man.
true.
Uncle Ben, hey.
You
but
have to
that's-
keep
that holds
yourself
up
in
court.
check. You
Exactly.
cannot rely on the government to keep you in check. You have to be responsible for fucking you.
Who's to say-
You are the only person who can keep yourself in check.
Hey, Uncle Ben.
Hey,
fucking great legal advice, Uncle Ben.
Hey, who's to say? Let's say you one day, normal, clear-headed,
Go ahead.
you go out and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy a gun to protect myself," but we've all had those days where you just want to snap, where shit's gone wrong, you lost your fucking job, your car got repoed or whatever.
Your dog
Who's to say that legal gun owner who had a clean fucking background doesn't just go, "Well, you know what? My life's fucking over. My wife left me. I'm just gonna go shoot up a fucking theater."
I'm gonna take whoever I can with.
Exactly.
Man, you guys
How do you-
really rely on situational evidence
Because
to support
how
your.
the fuck
What
do
are you? What are you
How the
relying
fuck
on?
you don't?
You're bringing up you.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
okay.
It literally all
Listen,
is
you just-
situational.
you-
I'm
listen,
just saying.
2 minutes ago,
the
you brought up-
motherfucking- hey, the
2 minutes
motherfucking
ago,
mass
you
murders
brought up-
that I presented to you, they
And those
both
aren't
legally
situational.
purchased
Those are
guns.
situations. The
That-
Las
that doesn't
Vegas
happen
that's
every
a
single
specific-
day.
That's a specific situation. Same with the Aurora shooting. You brought those up a couple minutes ago. Those are specific situations.
Legally purchased guns.
Specific situations.
What happens to the scenario I just presented? Why don't you think that one?
Was that a real scenario though?
How
Please
is
name-
that not? How is that
no,
not?
Please name the black person that died. But name the black person and where.
Yeah,
where
because-
did they die?
because-
and who were they?
So you're blaming the individual that isn't getting the publicity, that isn't getting the recognition
you know why they're not getting the-
on a
you know
global scale.
why.
You're
You know-
blaming them
No.
because they aren't recognized.
Do you know why they're not getting
But
the
the
publicity?
kid
Do you know
in the
why?
Florida high school is getting recognized. It's horrible. I'm not saying anything bad about
all
that,
horrible.
but it's all media. It is all publicity. The media isn't going to cover a kid that gets shot in
If
the inner
it's
city
not
of
making
Detroit.
them money,
Compared
they're
to-
not going to publicize it.
Exactly.
I'm not
The
trying.
media is fucking corrupt.
I'm not
End of story.
trying to take away guns from anybody. I'm really not. I'm just saying the people that are trained with guns are going to use them responsibly. Even if they have mental problems, I'm willing to let those people go. The minority of people that have mental problems and can pass the fucking tests to get the guns. Let them have guns. Let them have guns. But people that register and are trained to use a gun to take away my life, I realize
Or
that you have
protect your life.
I realize that you have the right to defend yourself, but that does not infringe on my right to live. Okay? So when it comes to you owning a gun, get trained on it.
All right.
There
of
needs to be
course.
legislation.
All right, so
that
let's take a
forces
step-
you to get trained on it.
Let's take a step back from that then and say, let's compare gun control to, let's say, disease or natural disaster. What, you're arguing for your right to live. How can you control
Are those
if you get
man-made?
killed by a natural disaster?
Are those man-made? Do we make disease?
Actually,
Do we?
Actually,
But
yeah.
people-
yes,
Yeah.
we do.
We
Oh,
literally do.
Ebola? Well, fuck me.
There is such thing as biological warfare.
Yes, and that's highly regulated. Highly regulated, and it's a motherfucking war crime. If there is biological warfare, you get put in prison. Shit, you get butt fucked. So,
You think that's gonna stop somebody?
Exactly.
I think butt fucking will stop somebody. Just to be honest with you.
So what form of death is okay to you? That's
Exactly.
That's
When-
what I'm asking.
when
What
does it stop?
Where does the line draw?
Because-
What form of death is okay to you? Where does it?
Because we went into
Car accidents are okay.
accidents,
Disease
Dying.
are okay.
Allow-
drunk driving,
Drunk driving, natural disaster are okay.
Allow,
What's
alcohol
okay?
poisoning.
allow
Wait,
McBrewer.
Let him say something.
Allow Brewer.
What's okay? I really educate
Exactly.
me, please.
I'm
Yo.
right here with you.
Please.
Natural disasters, okay.
Go ahead, man.
There's no way to prevent that, okay?
Actually, there is.
Illness.
There is 100%.
You can-
think about all the hurricanes that we're like, okay, this is
you
gonna
just-
fuck
so
some
you just
shit up.
don't live in Florida. There's your way to prevent that.
What about New Orleans? What about fucking New Orleans?
Okay,
Bullshit.
don't live in the southeast United
They
States.
have flood prevention.
Okay, what about-
technology.
What about
in,
like
in the
Oklahoma,
Netherlands?
like Tornado Alley?
That's what I'm
like-
saying. My parents live there,
They-
man. They face that threat every day.
Exactly, but they can predict when that type of stuff
They
happens.
can. So you drive away, and then you
Exactly.
come home when it's
So-
done.
So you can't tell me that there's no way to prevent it because we have literal.
You can't turn off the tornado button, my man.
No, I
Exactly.
know.
Just wait. Just the
you
same way you can't control.
Well, then-
You can't turn off the gun. There are guns out there that were created. Unless we go and we destroy every single gun and do not make any more guns in this world,
check this
there is
out.
always going to be the risk
at
of
least
getting shot.
there's
you
a
can
way-
literally
Period.
3D print a gun. 100%.
At least.
No, yes,
Get
100%.
this, okay?
All you need is a little tiny brad nail that's used for
Okay.
putting in
My thing is,
fucking
when-
baseboards.
when
All you
is
need
the-
is that, and
yeah.
it's a one shot.
Exactly.
Do you-
When is
yo,
it?
do-
When
do
is
you
the
guys-
point
at least-
where you're satisfied?
At least with guns, you can limit them. They're man-made. You can
can-
stop how many are being produced. You cannot stop a tornado from coming into your neighborhood, destroying your house.
But you can increase your chances of living. You can increase your chances
There's
of
tornado
surviving a
shelters.
tornado.
It's like I mentioned.
Or a tsunami.
So you just choose not to live there. But guns are everywhere.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you can at least stop a certain
if-
amount from
what
being
if
there.
that-
Okay, so then what's the solution? You just want to get rid of guns?
No, I'm not saying
Or,
get rid
or
of guns.
get rid of tornadoes.
No one's saying. Yo, no one even brought up tornadoes.
Hashtag tornado control.
The gun was created just the same as
Guys,
Hashtag
Mother Nature
Oklahoma.
creates a tornado. Exactly.
Do we believe that men and women are created equal and they're equal in society?
Of course.
Okay, that's
Then no.
another
Then why?
topic in
Then
general.
why
What's
are
your point?
95% of mass shootings carried out by men? Why?
Yo,
If
because
they're-
men are crazy, man.
No,
There's some fucked up dudes out
look,
there.
Why? Let's listen.
If anything,
I'll get to my
it's
point.
easier
Listen,
in California
if we-
for a woman to get a gun because they can plead. It's for self-defense against a man who is much bigger than them.
But 95% of
Get
mass
your point.
shootings
Get your
present.
point. Okay, what's your point? Continue.
We create a cultural society where emotions and different feelings have to be stifled when it comes to a man. Yeah, this is
Okay.
very liberal. When it comes to a man, we have to hold a
How do you-
lot
how
of.
do you stifle
just
those?
wait, just wait. When it comes to emotions and when it comes to our feelings and how we feel, we really have to just sit back and hold this shit in, because that's what makes a man. That's what makes a man. We have to not cry. We have to present ourselves a certain way. Why?
I think that's
Why?
societal
No,
bullshit.
We really need to look at this statistic. Why are 95% of mass shootings carried out by men? Why? 95%.
Because that's societal bullshit.
What's your
It's
reason?
societal bullshit.
Okay.
No,
Societal
but,
bullshit. Can you delve into that, please?
Why
I
are
don't
5?
understand.
No. If gun violence is just
I mean, I
something-
didn't know we were
if-
going to
if
bring
gun-
feminism
no,
into this,
if
but
gun
okay.
violence- if gun violence is just something that happens,
Tornadoes
why-
2012.
Then why aren't 50% of the population carrying out the gun violence? If it's just something that happens, why isn't 15% carrying out the gun violence? Why is 95% of males carrying out the gun violence?
95%.
There
If-
needs.
if,
There
if
has
90
to be
if
an
95% of males were carrying out gun violence, there would be no males. There would be no
Then
people.
are you
Except
there would be
saying that
5% people.
Men are
You also-
more mental than women.
Except you also have to
That's
think
a
about
stupid-
what is the percentage between males and females of who's buying guns. It is all the time 100% going to be males.
Then why? Why are they gunning? Why are they buying guns? Why are males buying guns more than women? Why are males?
Because biologically, we are
In a more
set
protective-
up to defend, to
Exactly.
compete. That is
Why?
how we are biologically set up
Think
in
about-
our genes. That is how we are biologically
Think
not
about
set
in
up.
genes
no,
anymore.
no,
What do you mean
thi-
it's not? So we're what?
Oh, come on, that
we're
is
the same
bullshit.
as females now?
No.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
I
Think
believe
about
so.
think about in the lion
I
community.
believe so.
In
Do
the
we
lion
need to protect
community.
our fucking tribe from anything? As a man, do we really need to do anything different than a woman?
Okay.
Honestly.
Let
Not
me
with
give you
Assault
this
Rifle.
scenario. Let me give you this scenario since we already brought up natural disasters. So let's say you have a natural disaster just overcame the world, a huge one, and you're having to dodge certain things. You're having to fight off certain things. You're telling me that a woman who is biologically, genetically set up to not be as competitively strong as a man in the physical world, that they will be able to survive better than a man in that instance. Is that what you're telling me?
They will,
I'm
man.
just saying, as a society,
Willpower.
I don't know
No,
why
are we living-
sexes have anything to do with gun rights now.
95% of mass shootings are done by males. That's why genders.
How many
are-
men versus women buy guns?
So what?
Okay, we're buying guns. So 95 or 100% of fucking males buy
getting-
guns. But why?
We're getting
For
off the
what
point here.
reason?
Yeah.
No, it's not the point. This is part of the point.
Okay,
If
but tell me
95%,
the reason why then. I
Yeah,
still haven't heard a
don't know
reason.
why this is
It
part
is a
of the
culture.
reason why.
It's a cultural.
What about the culture? Why? What's your point?
Just this masculinity complex that we feel.
It's not
the
even
need-
a
No.
masculinity
Just
complex.
wait.
What in the hell
95%. 95% of gun violence is carried out by males. 95%. Please tell me, is that a really just tilting the scales?
But okay, but what's your
95%.
When
No,
is
no, no,
the
no, no.
graph in which you
What's
were
your
doing
point?
this? Are you
No,
going all the
95
way back in history? Because do I need to remind you of all the badass
62%
women who have had guns and have defended themselves?
95%.
62% of gun owners
What
are
about
male.
the 2 Australian women who have were kind of like mobsters in their time and ran pretty much where they fucking were
We're talking
at
about
the
the
time?
U.S. We're talking about the U.S. As far as
there
95.
are women out there. There
6
are women
in
out there,
10
but it's
gun
primarily
owners
men.
in the United States are male.
Then why
62%.
62%? Then why is 95%?
Okay, well then it's who is selling guns to males.
But what
Is
is
it the
your answer?
sales?
What is your answer to that question?
And not to mention,
I wanna-
what the hell are you looking for?
Yeah, I want to know
I'm
what
looking
the
for
answer to
answers
the
from
question.
you. I'm looking for answers.
You
from
don't have the answer,
But
Sway.
you're just
We're
asking
not
questions.
experts. We're at people at
Exactly.
a table doing
No,
a
no,
podcast.
No. Yeah, exactly.
You're just asking
Listen,
questions.
We're talking about
what is your
statistics.
reason? What is your reason for asking this question?
There's
I'm
control.
still trying to find.
You guys are telling me that it's human nature. It's human nature to shoot up a whole bunch of people. It's human
No,
nature.
it's human nature to be
just wait.
violent.
Just wait.
When,
It's
did, when,
human
did,
nature.
when
No.
did I ever say that it is human nature
Yeah.
to shoot? I said it. I never said it was human nature to go into a school and shoot innocent people. Did I ever say that? No.
We said it's just gonna happen.
I said death is just gonna happen.
Yes, death.
happens.
Think
Death
about
happens.
Think about all the mass killings fucking not even like
happens.
200 years ago.
Hey, if death happens and like we can control the shootings that are done, then why not control the shootings that are done? Hey, you guys. Hey, we got back. Good job, guys. We are able to control the shootings.
it's
We're
not
able to
gonna
save
make
lives.
You're never
We're
gonna
able to
control
save
of a
lives.
difference.
We
Good.
are
Hey, high fives all around.
seriously off topic.
High fives all around. We're able to save lives, guys. If everybody dies, and when it comes to gun control, if we put forth gun control and we're able to save 3, 4, 1 fucking life, we're able to save lives.
Okay.
But everybody dies, so fuck it.
All right. But
Right?
when in the same instance, then why don't we control who can drive a car? Why don't we control the
Why not
regulation?
We do.
educate
Not really.
people?
No, really.
16-year-olds can drive cars, and
Yeah.
they're the craziest piece
I'm
of
just
shit ever.
saying
Like we
If you don't
mentioned
pass-
before,
that a car is far
having an
more
automobile
deadlier
is
than a
essential to
gun.
life in the United States. As much as you'd like to admit it or not,
It is.
It is.
It really is. And
that's why they're available at such a young
think
age.
about how emotional 16-year-olds are. Think about that.
Yeah, if they break up with their boyfriend because they found out they're cheating
They're
on
risking
them.
suicide.
well, then push the
Yeah.
age to 18, but it still does not make
So-
it. We should
so
ban cars.
You pulled up the statistic that 60%.
I'm not. Just like
No,
you guys are saying,
62.
I'm not saying you should ban cars. That's preposterous. Just like you guys are saying, you shouldn't ban guns.
We're not.
You can't ban guns. It's nearly
strict.
impossible.
It
Just
is.
like it's nearly impossible
The
to ban cars.
availability.
But you can regulate it to decrease the amount of deaths that are happening every year. Just
Then-
like you can decrease whatever
And think
or
about
increase
that, like
whatever
when-
regulation.
when
Shouldn't we
seat
do that then?
belts- when
Shouldn't
seat
we do
belts-
that then?
We
We're
should.
mandated.
We should. There's a lot of things that we should be doing. I'll
Exactly.
tell you. I
Exactly.
will tell you. We could go on and on for days
Then
about
let's
the
do
Yeah, we
that.
are.
Hey, then let's do
Oh,
that.
that's all wonderful. We could
us talking about it.
It'd be great to live in a fantasy world where
No,
everything
hey,
we just
no,
think of just
fuck that
and should be
bullshit.
done is just
Fuck
like
that bullshit.
Oh,
Hey,
guns.
Kenton.
Utopias
let's not
don't
shoot
exist.
everybody.
No, fuck that
Let's not
bullshit.
get in car
We
accidents.
just-
Let's just be
Honestly.
happy.
Hey,
Let's
hey.
just all be.
Hey,
let's just be good to
we-
each other. Let's just
I
do
just-
it.
you
It'll
just
be
wanna let all of
wonderful.
you know?
It'll be a wonderful life.
I'm still your homie after all
Of
this.
course,
Yeah,
of course.
let's
We
not
all
get in
love
car
each other.
We
accidents.
love all day.
There is
Just
no
because we all
hey,
have our different
as much-
opinions.
Utopia. Hey,
If you all listening right now feel a lot of hate going on in the room, there's no hate.
It's
okay?
just our,
No, we
it's
love
just our
each other very
competitive
much.
nature. Like,
hey, utopia
It's
is
just a
impossible.
conversation.
It is.
As Kyle Jones,
Thank you.
Utopia is impossible.
it is
But
impossible.
we should every day
Yeah.
strive.
Of course, you should
for
strive for it, but
Strive
the
for
way our
utopia.
society is
Are we
right
not
now,
though? Are we not?
We're not.
You know,
How?
everything can go faster. Everything can be done quicker in the minds of people. But I mean,
know,
You guys
we
feel
have
like
gotten
we're.
to the point in society where it's better to arm ourselves than to disarm everyone. Honestly, because it's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we do need to arm each other, and we do need to educate each other to protect each other.
and
But
we live in a
what's-
society where
What's stronger?
you-
What's
if
stronger?
some guy
the
just walks
education.
in-
What's stronger? The education or the gun? What's stronger?
Education, because the gun doesn't
Then
have a
what
mind of
should
its own.
we-
It can't
then
think.
what
It can't
should
shoot people
we
by
spend
itself.
on?
It's the people who own the guns who need the education.
Then what should we spend our money on?
education.
everybody at this table
one
knows.
disagrees with
Everybody
you.
at this table knows what we should spend our money on, man. But
Like,
listen,
it doesn't.
it
we-
doesn't
it's not gonna
happen
happen
overnight.
Not
You can
even
sit
within the
here
next few
and
years.
you can be angry at the world
Hey.
for everything
No,
that's
no,
going
no.
on and say we should do this, we should do that. Man, this is a fucked up world we live in.
No,
Why
fuck that
why
shit.
why are we
Be
killing
the
each
action
other?
we want to see.
This,
But
exactly.
it takes
Yep.
Good point,
time.
Nikki. Yeah, it takes time, but
takes
the
time.
people in power are not willing to do what is necessary.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't either.
I think it just
I don't
takes
think so.
so much time that whatever's happening today, we won't see for 5, 10, even 15 years.
when we
Do you,
get into
do you
power,
agree? Do you agree with so are you're a heavy supporter of the Obama administration and everything that they did? Were there not mass shootings that went on at that point?
oh,
There
there
were.
was.
Yes, there were.
Can
Were there not
can I
people that
just-
were getting killed at that point in time?
Can I take a side note really
There were.
quick?
Hey,
What's up?
Nick,
What's
Nick,
up?
go ahead. Do
So
your thing.
polite.
I just want to say, even if you don't like President Obama's policy, you got to admit the guy's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
He's a pretty
Trust me.
That was a side note. If anything.
I am.
Obama is a
sincerely
cool
agree
ass
with you.
dude, man.
He is.
Even if you don't like his policies, most down to earth president, man.
He is.
Like
He
I would
is.
have a cup of coffee with that dude and talk about anything
I
but
would have a beer.
politics.
I would
I
have a
agree.
beer with that fool. Yeah.
I agree. But
Just want to throw that out there. All right.
yeah,
When it
good
comes,
side note.
yeah, when it comes to gun reform, I don't think we have the solutions yet because there hasn't been a collaboration between the two sides. Nick and I are obviously on one side. Kenton and Dylan are on two. When it comes to creating,
I'm there too.
yeah, and Nikki. So I'm so sorry, sexist of me. I get a strike. But when it comes to the collaboration between the two sides that we have established that are the two sides of government, there needs to be a collaboration between the two, and there
Of
needs to
course.
be solutions.
I agree.
There needs to be solutions.
George Washington said it himself. If we split up into a two-party system,
True.
and this is obviously my terms, not his, we're fucking ourselves. Like,
Isn't that funny how he said that shit, man? And that's
Yeah.
exactly where we ended up, man.
Yeah.
exactly. We
Because
did
that's
exactly.
just human nature.
But that shit ain't right, man. Yo,
Yeah.
Canada got like 6 political parties, man,
True.
and they're all competitive with each other.
True.
And we got 2, man.
and
We have
That's all
more,
it
but
takes.
it's like
That's all it takes.
It's like if you
There's
vote for
two-
them, it's kind of a win.
There's two that
it wasn't
have
always
even-
Republican Democrats. If anything, the Green Party had the majority at the time before it got overturned.
yeah, now the Green
Now you
Party.
have
If you look at all the president elections, though, all the presidential elections, there's been maybe 2 where a third party even had a slim chance of
Yep.
winning.
now
Yep.
the third party is just taking
the Green
votes
Party
away.
was the party that got overturned.
The third party is now just taking the votes away from either the,
Exactly.
the
Exactly,
Republicans or
and
the
it shouldn't be
Democrats.
like that, man.
It shouldn't. Honestly,
It should
we
be
should have a
competitive
multi-party.
where we actually have
So
options.
you want there to be one ruling system?
No,
no, I want
Multiple.
there to be
Multiple.
options.
multiple.
Because I
party
mean,
systems.
right now
Multiple.
we have
but that'll
options.
just make it more. That'll just make
That
it
is
more
just gonna
convoluted.
complex
That'll just make it more
things
convoluted. Instead of two,
super
So-
complex.
2 parties, you have 3. You have 5.
No,
Think
but
of, we're
what-
having debates about
I think
our
we
2
should
different
all-
differences.
But again, we wouldn't be debating the far left and the far right.
Yeah,
we
you'd be
would
choosing instead of black and
choose-
white, you get blue, gray, purple,
You would
yellow.
have-
Okay,
we
but
would
there
have
are
some- You have
some
more
people
divisions
who
then.
exist that
You
are
have more divisions then.
conservative people who aren't such
Because-
extreme conservatives.
'cause look
Like-
at this,
Like
the-
me, for example. Okay, I'm a little more on the conservative side, but I do have liberal values. Okay,
In
there
politics,
is there is gray.
Yeah, there
but
is.
in politics right now, there's no way of getting best of both worlds. You're
Exactly.
either all right or all left.
Exactly.
And when you have 6 political parties, you can be what you want to be.
Like
Blame the
50,
media.
Me as a person,
70-30. You can be
as far
everything
as
you
this
want.
le-
okay, but what if
as far as this last election, I agreed with some of Hillary's points, and then I agreed with some of Trump's points, but I did not agree with all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
And if
That's why you need
and,
more options.
And
that's,
the one
that's
thing
because
with
there's 2 parties. That's because there's 2 parties.
and the thing
you
with
couldn't
Gary
agree.
Johnson is, I know if I vote for him, my vote is literally wasted because he has 0 chance.
Yeah.
Think about
See,
how
and
many
it
ads you
shouldn't be like
saw
that,
for
man.
Hillary Clinton and how many ads you saw for Donald Trump.
Yes.
They weren't shit.
For
Like
Gary, yeah.
Gary Johnson didn't do shit for
But
that.
shouldn't we change that system? Shouldn't there be a way for a
Of
third
course,
party candidate?
but it's not going to change overnight, just like gun control.
Yeah, but
It's
there
not
ha-
going to even change
did
within the
pretty
next couple of years.
But does that mean we don't try to change it? Does that mean we don't try to change it? The change happens when we decide to make a change.
And are we?
The
You don't
change
think?
happens within the people. When the people want to change and not let it up to the government, I think that's when it matters most.
Exactly. But where does it start? The fucking beginning. The spark that ignites
The
the
people.
fire. The people. But
Exactly.
it starts
The
with
people.
one person.
We
The
the
1%
people.
of the 1%.
1% of the 1%.
We the people.
I don't appreciate your
Bernie.
accent, sir.
Hey, I like Bernie. Bernie was my fucking candidate. He would have won president
I
if Hillary
guarantee.
Clinton.
I don't know.
If
He's
Hillary
a little
Clinton.
eccentric.
If Hillary Clinton was not the Democratic,
But he was
Candidate, he
literally
would've won.
he was literally promoting
I'm
communism.
not even gonna go on that because
Socialism. Socialism.
It's
Socialism. Socialism is
Democratic
not
socialism.
communism. Okay.
No, like
Democratic
he was
socialism.
promoting taking money from the rich and giving it to the
He was.
poor, and that's
And-
literally communism right there.
It's part of it, man. It's not communism. I won't go that far. The government owned everything, but I'm all for that. I don't think doctors should be paying 50% of their salary in taxes because no one's going to want to be a
Exactly.
doctor.
fuck doctors.
I liked Donald Trump's original tax plan, the 5, 10, 15%. I feel like that was very fair.
That was
and
a very solid plan.
exactly.
Yo.
And then he went back on it. Like that's
Think about this, man. With taxes, how you going to pay to fix your roads, bridges, pay for all the public
Okay,
schools?
people always complain about
for your police.
infrastructure. That's the number one thing that people
Yep.
always complain about.
Except
Well, how are we going to pay
have-
for it without taxes, yo? That's what I'm
it's-
saying.
We're not taking away
Okay,
taxes.
well then, you know,
At all.
it all falls back to what I believe is that if it matters so freaking much to the people, then they should be the ones who are funding it.
Well, yeah,
They
that's-
should
I
not be
donate to
relying on the
programs like
government
that.
to do these things.
I donate to programs to help infrastructure. I donate to programs to help the
And- but
environment.
good for
But
you,
is it enough,
how
though?
Many, how
Is it
many
enough?
people do
How
you,
many other people are like you?
exactly? How many people that
Is it
you
enough?
know actually donate to programs like that?
Where's the money coming
Who's
from?
willing to
Where's
donate
the
to that?
influence?
It
Where's
should
the
come from the people.
No, it
People
should.
take
It
care
should.
of each other.
But where's
Should
the
I
money?
hear this word should a lot?
No.
Yep.
But
That's all I'm
where's-
saying is I hear should a lot.
Where is
I-
the money coming from? Where is the money coming? I'm
People
asking.
should take care of themselves. They
The
should
lo-
not rely on the government
lobbying.
to do these things for them.
The
and
lobbying
people and
parties.
every person
Unfortunately,
should
and it looks like a bad mark,
be well fed
Republican view. Taking
Yep.
care of each other
and
is more
have a
of
house
Republican stance.
and a shelter,
Yep.
have water,
Yep.
have a nice wife or spouse,
But
have a nice family
if
that
they
they can
provide a
raise.
wife, I'll take
Everybody
one.
should
I'll go ahead and take one of those tickets.
be happy.
Let me get a wife paid for by the feds.
Exactly.
Thanks, man.
Like I mean, the word should is amazing when you
It
think
is.
about the word should.
it's a lot like those what ifs.
It's
earlier.
incredible.
That's
No,
right.
but-
That's right.
It's
But
incredible.
but
It
shouldn't we
a lot of things should be a lot of other
we
things.
should
You know,
we should.
it's a great word.
strive. But we should
We've
strive.
said that a lot in this podcast.
We
man.
should strive for excellence instead of
Now we're
fucking
moving on to
accepting-
strive.
Instead of accepting where it's at, we should strive. We should strive to achieve those levels.
I agree.
You should strive. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And
It's
no
But
one's
the
saying that we're not
community
striving.
As a collective
people,
should strive.
as a
You
people,
cannot just complain about things and not be the change that you want to see happening.
Yeah.
as a people, we are. It's not that we are not striving. There's just a lot of democratic issues that need to be solved in order.
We're not striving. We're not.
How?
Donald
so-
Trump is fucking president. That's how not the
How-
Republican
no,
Party is
legitimately,
in control.
how are we
Okay,
not striving?
You cannot blame one person for an entire fucking nation of mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
You should be accountable for
course.
yourself, and you should be responsible for yourself.
Nick Brewer, go ahead and take it.
Honestly, don't know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
You raised your hand.
all right,
Okay.
let
but
me
I'm
get
gonna
this
say
He was
No,
inspired.
no.
He was inspired at that moment.
Exactly.
I saw it in his eyes.
And then
Thank you,
he's like, oh wait.
He just lost. He just
Thank
lost
you.
the thought.
People like
But-
to play the blame game.
Exactly.
It's so fucking easy.
Sure.
You can get into it and be like, oh, it's your fault. It's this person's fault. It's because of this. No, but people never want to take accountability of their fucking actions or their contributions
If
to
you point-
the existing
let's
If you
problem.
point the
about-
finger,
let's-
just know you have 4 pointed right back at
Let's
you.
talk about wealth inequality for a minute. Let's talk about wealth inequality.
about it?
Who owns majority of the wealth in this country, someone give me a percentage.
The 1%.
The 1% of 1%.
What do you want to do about that?
Exactly.
There's literally nothing you
we're
can do
a
about
capitalist
it.
society where
What do you want to do about that? Please tell me.
There
Please
needs to
tell
be-
me.
I got
There needs
something.
to be what?
Hey,
Wait,
what are you
let him
gonna-
finish.
Nick-
Wait, hold on.
No,
There
let
needs to
Kent
be
finish.
what?
Hey, let Kent finish,
Yeah.
and then we'll go to Dylan, and then Nick Brewer's gonna have some.
Okay, well, I want to hear Kyle say there. Continue on that point where there needs to be what?
No. I'm just saying. As far as wealth inequality, 1% of 1% owns 90% of the wealth.
Everyone should take care of each other.
The wealth of this country. How
So-
does
so
1%
you're
of
telling me-
1% own
Okay,
90% of
what do you
your
want them
fucking
to do?
wealth?
What do you want them to do?
So
You
you're
know,
telling
those
me.
same people own the media.
So you're telling me.
What do you want them
right
to
now,
do?
No, please.
Let's say
Let me hear it.
tomorrow.
Bring it.
I end up becoming a millionaire because I worked my way up. You're telling me that. You're telling me.
Buy me a house, baby.
That I need to give 75%.
Exactly. No, you're
to the
you're telling me
nation?
because I worked my ass off to get to that status that fuck me, I just happen to make something that works that I have to give most of my earnings to someone else. No, fuck
Because
that. We
there
live in a
are
capitalist society where I can do that and live lavishly.
There are people who try to milk the system.
Do you guys
Don't
know?
deny that happens.
Yeah, Nick's gonna have this, but I'm just gonna pose this question. Do you guys know about the estate tax and what it is?
What about it?
That's given to.
I know about a lot of fucked
Next
up things in
generation.
this world. That's what I know about. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can think about it, but it'll just make me angry. That's why I choose not to.
Yeah, it comes into the fact of the 1% of the 1% and what they pass down to their children. And when it comes to the richest of the rich owning 90% of the wealth in this country and the rest of us struggling to get a fucking dime,
Okay, I'm not
where does
gonna
this go?
deny that there is an increasing, widening gap between the rich and the poor, and that does cause problems.
So when it comes to class warfare, when the middle class starts to
There
become
is
the
no
lower,
more middle
and Nick,
class.
you know what?
There is
I'm talking
no
too
more
much.
middle class.
Nick,
I already
Nick,
passed it
give it to
over
us.
to
Give
Nick
it to
Brew.
us.
Go ahead.
All right.
Brewmeister.
Back in college, we had a guest speaker who's from Denmark, and he talked about how their tax system there was so high
Yep.
that it kept everyone in the middle class.
Yep. I have a buddy
There was
that
no
lives
one
in
that was
Denmark.
poor, but there's also no one that was rich.
Yeah.
So therefore, there was no innovation, no entrepreneurship, nothing like that.
I have a buddy
So in
that,
the United
that lives
States-
in Denmark.
I do agree that there is a significant amount of wealth inequality that is a problem, but that is natural with a capitalist society.
Exactly.
And not everybody is as
So-
ambitious as those people who are making
Because
that
I
kind
believe
of
there
money.
are some.
So he told me straight up, like, he was working at, like, a 7-Eleven or something, and he was making, like, transferred over, obviously, like, $32 an hour. And I'm like, holy shit, I want to move there. Like, I want to work at some lax-ass job, making $32 an hour. But then he told me how much he gets in after taxes. It is dog shit. It's less
No,
than...
but there's a lot of benefits, man. Like
Of
your
course.
healthcare,
Of
public
course.
transportation, all that's paid for.
Look
you
at
know?
look it up north. Up north, they have free health care, but the reason why they have free health care is they take some out of taxes. Oh, I mean, you're gonna get
Yeah, I'd
you're
be
gonna
willing
give
to do that,
taxes
man.
anyways.
Okay, but it's not a
Healthcare
perfect
in the United
system.
States is
If you
fucked.
want to go up north and talk about their free healthcare, I'm going to bring up a situation with my mother who happened to visit Canada and got into a car accident. She got hit by a car as a pedestrian, and it has taken her 4 fucking years for them to finally pay for her medical bills, even
Yeah,
though
it-
it was one of their citizens' faults. So their
Okay.
system isn't fucking perfect either.
No, it's not. But the point everyone makes is free healthcare. Canada is so fucking great because they have free healthcare. A lot of places have free healthcare, but you're taxed like shit, and you have to wait your fucking turn.
I just want to bring up just
Yeah, I'm
just
really
just
hit
sitting
by
just
a
sitting
car.
and listening and observing for what was that, maybe about 3 minutes. I just want to point out I just want to point out, like, just look at how many points came up and how many geographical areas
How
we
far
shifted
off
to
control we are?
in that short amount of time, and what we were drawing from. We're taking pieces of different government systems, different economic systems. look at we're taking pieces of that, and to draw back to the original,
isn't that the
to our
United
original
States?
start of the. What do you mean? Is that the United
Isn't
States?
that the
Land
United
built
States?
on immigration,
we are
man. Built on
motherfucking
many
melting
ideas.
pot. We're literally a melting
We are
pot.
a melting pot. So we take the best of all worlds.
I don't know about the best, but we
I
take.
don't know about that.
any kind of.
We take the best of all worlds. Does that make us perfect?
No, it sure as hell
What is
makes us imperfect.
But what is perfect?
No country is perfect.
Perfect
man.
is impossible.
Perfect is impossible.
But the United
Exactly.
States-
That's why
It's not even
utopia
impossible.
will
it's
not exist.
unattainable.
Hey, no, fuck that shit. We strive for perfection.
Okay, so if we strive for perfection, like, I mean, in comparison
Sorry.
to other things, if we
Sorry.
put it,
Because there's always
if we-
going to be someone
Sorry.
out there who has a different opinion than you and has a different ideal of what fucking
Yep.
perfection is.
And that's why we are all together debating about all of this. Like,
there would no problem. There would be no. You got to look at it relative. I mean, we're pulling, like I said, we're pulling pieces from other countries, governments, and economies and stuff. But you got to put it relative to our own. I mean, just a blatant example would be we have clean water. You can go to your sink and get clean water that countries do not have. That's just a blatant example. Let's not get into that
There's
because
very
I know
few-
we can get into
very few
a lot of other
countries. Yeah,
things,
very
but
true.
let's not get into that. I'm just saying it's relative to where you are, who you are, and what country and what government you're a part of. That's all I'm saying. And it.
the only thing we can do is our best.
Yeah, of course. But as the United States that holds the significant foam finger of being number one, you know what I mean? Like,
I think that we carry the biggest stick, and that's why
Being-
we're respected.
Hey,
Not
being
necessarily
number
being
one.
number
Carry the
one.
biggest stick
just
anymore.
wait. Just wait.
But being number one, we're not. What are we number one in?
exactly.
Military spending. That's it.
So you're pointing at the flaws. What are we number one in?
That's
How can
exactly
you
what
be
I'm
number
saying.
one if all you have is flaws?
Oh wait, no.
Can you point to what we're number one at, please?
America.
Fucking
Innovation.
incarceration.
It does say
Incarceration.
Another flaw.
Exactly.
Please,
No,
please,
we're-
pull me.
We're
what
trying
are we
to talk
number
about
one
the
at?
good.
I'm trying to
What?
talk.
You
good.
just said we're
Hey,
number one.
You
Yo,
asked me
what
what
are we
we're
number
number
one?
good in.
I
Number
mean,
one
if
in.
we are so bad
The
as
amount
a
of
country,
freedoms.
why haven't you
Yo,
gone to some
no,
other
I
country?
think we've
please.
forgotten.
What are we number one in?
I think we've forgotten
I'm
what's so
ask-
great
you-
about the United States.
You asked me what's number one in, and I'm answering your question. We're number one in military.
Yeah, but
spending.
you, but I'm bringing it
wait.
back to. I'm bringing it back
We're
to your
number
point
one
of
in
saying
business.
we need to hold this standard that we are number one.
Yeah.
With the standard
And
that
I'm
we're number
telling
one.
you.
What are we number one?
And I'm
you know
telling
what?
you.
People come here because of the American dream, because
Yes.
they can start something.
The
And
American dream is
government
dead.
Will,
And they end up in
and
jail.
I'm not kidding you. They will help you fund an idea for any business that you
Yes.
want because they want growth and stimulation of the economy.
You're asking me what we're number one in, and I'm telling you what we're number one in. We're number one in military spending, and we're number one in incarceration of minorities,
which are both flaws.
specifically.
So what are we? So you're saying so what are we number one in as far as
Oh,
positives?
we're
Can you tell me a positive
We're not.
statistic?
There's a lot of great
Education,
things.
nope.
No,
No, there's a lot of great
Mathematics.
things. we've
Okay,
forgotten.
so don't
That's
say
still
number
part of-
one.
Despite
Number
all
one
the
is
flaws.
that's what I'm
contradicting.
saying.
We've dropped as a country.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Yo.
saying. Shouldn't we
Shouldn't. That's
God
another
damn it.
derivative of should.
Yep.
We're forgetting what's
what
so
I'm
great
saying.
about the United States,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
Mostly off topic.
No.
Despite all these countries out, we have a lot of rules in the United States, but at the end of the day, you can do anything you want, man.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
literally do anything you set your mind to.
But
I hate when people
You
say,
can be a fucking goat farmer.
I hate when people say the American dream is dead.
Support that.
All
You
right,
can go
we-
anywhere you want in
Hey,
this country and make
let's-
something happen.
we're
if you
gonna
work hard
we're gonna
enough.
pick up back up on this subject, and we're gonna talk about a whole bunch more.
We're
we went
long over.
an hour. I don't know if you are still with us, but I appreciate you listening. And
Of
Yes.
course.
Thank
And,
you.
and just
Give us
remember,
feedback. It doesn't matter what you don't know.
just don't know nothing.
Thank you for listening.